So these are the championship standings. After rounds 1 to 3, a week and a day ago in Brands Hatch. And it was Joe Manning who is top of the pile, getting 2 wins out of 3 in those opening rounds, as well as a couple of fastest laps as well. There's of course 1 point for fastest lap in each race, and there's 2 points for pole position. We'll get the qualifying very soon for this Silverstone event. Tom Lightbody is second, a point ahead of Harkema. And I guess, Dan, I know it's very early days. It's just an 18-round championship, and we've only had 1/6 of them. But are those top 3, are they looking like the favourites to challenge, or is there anybody a bit further back who maybe has more pace to show?
Well, I think sort of seen the format for the first time last week. It kind of highlighted, even with the max ballast on board, we saw the same sort of drivers moving their way to the front. So you could say that the ones up front at the moment are, I wouldn't say favourites, but sort of might be sort of the front runners. However, we did see a few instances last week. Colin McDermott stands out for one, who kind of seemed to be fairly unlucky with kind of being involved in incidents, even though he wasn't the one who caused them as such. But yes, it's only round 1, but people might have been able to, might be able to sort of switch themselves on, one for a better word, onto the car, onto the tyres, how to work, how it's best to sort of drive the car to their driving style. So, and to be honest, sometimes it can be track dependent. I think we've all been there where, you come to a track and you struggle, and then you think, I don't know why I'm losing all this time. The next thing you know, you get to the next round, and all of a sudden you kind of like might be right up the top, and you think, well, I don't think I've done anything differently. But sometimes your driving style just suits a certain track. So we'll have to sort of see how probably these 3 races pan out, and we'll see if those names that we get at the top at this current time is going to be the same sort of 4 or 5 drivers at the end of sort of round 6.
I think that's very, very well summed up there. The top John Lemon Trophy driver, which is the lemons you can see on the left side of the screen, is Callas for Ice One Racing, who managed to get a podium. So officially, statistically, the first ever John Lemon Trophy driver to score an outright podium in an FRS Touring Car Championship event. So there you go. Hang on to that stat as long as you like. But yeah, I think, as I say, it can. We've got this setup, haven't we, with the qualifying for the opening race, and then we reverse the top X number of positions, and that can just give a few drivers who are maybe stuck in the midfield an opportunity to run around at the front. And there's a lot of drivers where the pace isn't that different. So if they can get themselves a sort of reverse grid pole or reverse grid front row, then they can capitalise on that. They can deliver a good haul of points. Yeah, as I say, some of the newbies towards the back end of the field, but we will see if they can keep out of trouble and get themselves up towards the front. It's a fairly short run to the start line here. The drivers lining up just out of Woodcote, Luffield even.
Obviously trying to get all 26 cars in the on the track. It's going to be a good, quite a quick roll and start going at turn 1. So annoyingly, I've got the director on my screen, but the time and tell on the left is doubled up when you ask for when you try and get the track map and stuff up. But if you click toggle HUD in the game, it blanks everything. So I've either got double names in the track map, or I've got nothing. So I'm going to see if I can try and keeping abreast of some action on the track map as you're looking elsewhere, and I'll try and.
I think possibly the right thing to do is for you to just look at something different to what I'm looking at a lot of the time, and then we can try and work it out from there. At least keep our eyes across a few different things. Anyway, we're about to get underway here for race 1. It's the 2 John Lemon Trophy drivers of Nordermeer and Hofstee at the front. And then it'll be a short run down to Copse. We are green here in the Touring Car Championship here in FRS, and Nordermere on the inside from Hofstee as we head into turn 1. Fairly clean through Copse at the moment. Not a lot going on towards the front. We've got Manning and Lightbody side by side.
We've got an accident at the back. Sorry, we've got a spinner at the back. We've got a couple of cars off. We've got Brad Spitt is one of the cars round, and the number 7 car of Crabtree has also went off.
So here we come on to the Hanger Straight for the first time. And Nordermere retains the lead from Hofstee, though Joe Manning right up behind Tom Lightbody here as they come down towards Stowe for the first time.
Yeah, Joe's looking to go the long way around, so Lightbody's got the inside. We might see a bit of a switchback, or Joe might hang around on the outside. As I see, a very late move just behind. Who was that going? That was Williams going deep into Stowe, but he's managed to keep on track.
Lightbody, he's too late on the brakes and he's run into Hofstee. Hofstee again, that's going to be an unsafe rejoin across the circuit. It's kind of shambles on lap 1 here at Silverstone.
Yeah, there's lots of banging going on behind when Hofstee's just joined the track, so hopefully no one's got major damage to the cars there. But yeah, in Hofstee trying to rejoin, he's just went and plowed it straight into the middle of the track, and there's a lot of cars with not really any places to go.
Well, we'll take that back and look at it in a moment, but it means that Nordermere now leads from Joe Manning, and that also, I mean, Lightbody's still in 3rd, but potential issue with the stewards there. There's a fight between Actonese and Harkema going on in the background here. It is all kicking off on lap 1 here at Silverstone.
It is, and we've got Chad Bradley just behind. She's looking to go 3 wide down the straight, as she's looking to get up the inside, going down.
Here comes Sumner as well. Oh, and Bradley's round and facing the wrong way. I think Actonese is involved in that as well. It is all action here on lap 1, and thankfully both cars able to recover without losing too much time, but we did lose a lot in terms of position on the circuit. So Nordermere leads by a comfortable 1.3 seconds from Joe Manning and Tom Lightbody.
So yeah, so Chad, she got hit from behind, but then she got turned back around, so she's not actually lost as much time as she could have done. She was looking to go full for a 180, but she got hit on the front, and that turned the car back around. She's back going. Only lost a few places in that, but it could have been a lot worse for her.
Here's Lewis Williams and MJ Povey continuing to fight over 5th position. Povey ahead in the Tesco Rich Energy liveried car as we come down the Hanger Straight for the 2nd time. Now, who's made a good start here? Who's up a few places? Buffonius is up in 10th, so a good start from Booth there. Garley's improved quite a few positions as well, but look at this down the back straight. This is Struthers alongside Actonese, and that's Soros going down the inside, and that's contact. And there's Struthers in the B&M car facing the wrong way now, and then a separate accident there between Carpenter and Hofstee again off the circuit. Oh, and there's another unsafe rejoin right into the path of Nordermere.
Struthers just got got a tag from behind another sort of like late break, and drivers don't seem to be kind of getting their braking points sorted at the moment. But yeah, some of these drivers need to kind of be a little bit more patient, or take a slightly more evasive line or evasive line to rejoin the track, because that's been a few instances now where it's been some bad rejoining on the track.
I sort of get it from a perspective of it's a touring car race. You don't have a lot of time to make up the ground, but also you can't do that. It's one of those things you kind of are required to wait. Anyway, the gap reducing at the front as there's a fight here between the two Scotsmen, Lightbody and McDermott, over the final podium place, but Joe Manning beginning to turn the screw on Kevin Nordermere at the front. On board with McDermott as we come across the line to finish what is only lap 2, but it's been all action in those 2 laps. I think you were entirely right in your assessment, Dan, and McDermott sends one down the inside, and there's contact between the two. They're both off the circuit and continuing to trade paint. And now Povey's through into third place.
Yeah, that was a late lunge from McDermott. I'm not sure Copse is. I mean, it's a good place in the touring car to pass, but yeah, he kind of just sort of ran deep and then just ran a little wide into light body. So, but yeah, again managed to get away with it. There was a little bit of more extra contact afterwards, which kept McDermott facing the right way. So he's not. They've only lost one position to MJ Povey. No, actually, no, sorry, two positions.
Williams has come through as well.
So again, they've both kind of got away with sort of minimising the loss of time on that move, but yeah, not what either of them wanted there.
Is Bradley alongside Vonda. I will learn how to pronounce that sooner rather than later. You see the scuffed paint on that Chess.com Racing with Guinness car as Vonda runs off the circuit.
Look back at the front. Normy is just ran wide into Vale and Club, and Joe Mann's right on the back of him now. He had run a little wide going into the chicane, and had to compromise his second part of the club chicane. So Joe's right on the back now as they go down into the Farmer Loop.
The championship leader is looking very, very strong in the early stages of race 1 here at Silverstone. Povey's keeping touch just about, although a couple of seconds back. That sort of the gap's larger than you think, based because obviously the cars are slower than it would be if it was an F1 gap. But Nordemir is doing a good job here. Second place would still be a very, very strong result if he's not able to hold off Joe Manning. And Lewis Williams having a very good race, up in 4th position as well. Oh, Povey's run wide there in the Tesco team KRO car. That's going to cost him time to Williams behind. But yeah, Manning looking very, very strong right now.
He is. Obviously, like I said, lost a little bit of time going down into Brooklands there, but yeah, all it takes is just for a little bit of sort of side-by-side action with the top two, and it'll close the gap right up. As we see a little bit of a wide line from Nordemir and Manning going through Copse Corner, but I kind of sense that's the touring car line. He's run as far wide as he can and get away with as much as he can.
Yeah, I mean, the American in second position here, it's looking at a matter of when, not if, we can get through and take the lead of this race. Povey's doing his best to stay in touch.
Oh, the battle of watches, Sumner and Harkema, they've just had a bit of contact coming out of Maggots and Chapel. The side-by-side coming down the Hanger Straight now. Sumner looks like the quicker car, but yeah, Hawk's doing got a good defence on here coming down the straight.
McDermott and Lightbody are about to resume hostilities. Sumner trying to go round the outside at Stowe, and Elliot Hicks is now looking interested. This is a great attempt from the British driver, and now he's going to run it to the back. It's a Vettel and Verstappen moment there almost as we come into Vale, and Harkema's all the way across the grass. Here comes Hicks around the outside. What a move from Hicks.
Yeah, it's a good clean move from Hicks, and yeah, I think Hawk really had no choice after getting bumped from behind. As long as he kind of closes that gap back up to Hicks, then there'll be no sort of advantage gained, or lasting advantage gained, I should say. But yeah, I thought Sumner had himself lined up into the chicane, but ended up decided on backing out and dropping in behind Hawk there. But yeah, Hicks is a big beneficiary of all that, and he's now right at the back of Hawk. Looking to do a switchback as he tries to come down Wellington Straight.
Yeah, this fight is still raging between these 4 or 5 cars. And Elliot Hicks looking the quickest of the bunch right now. Harkema's defending very, very strongly from all of these drivers. And Hicks is going to send one to the inside of Brooklands. No, Harkema's got that one covered.
Back at the front, we've got Joe Manning. He's right on the exhaust pipes of Nordham. He's looking to potentially try and get an overlap coming out of Luffield and down the start-finish straight, but not quite there. But yeah, he looks like definitely the faster of the two at the moment.
Great racing here in the TCC, and they're both taking advantage of the runoff at Copse. Let's come through there to start the 5th lap. Manning, I mean, surely you're not going to send it into to Maggots and Beckett's there. That would be brave beyond brave. But as I said, at this point of the circuit, a lap ago, it's looking like when and not if.
We've got Elliott, Hicks, and Harkima going side by side through Maggots and Beckett, and Hicks has just got a massive tank slapper going on in the Maggots, but he's managed to hold it. But Sumner is again trying to get back on the tail of this. But we've got a 5-car battle now for P7.
I don't know where to point the camera. It's great stuff here at Silverstone. On lap 5, we've got to be beyond the halfway point of this race. Sumner sending one to the inside of Hicks. Hicks is going to leave the space. And the fight will continue all the way down to Vale here. With the Only Clowns racing car on the inside.
Up the front, we've got Joe Manning go for the lead over Nordemy. He's got the overlap coming on to the F1, the Grand Prix pit straight.
That's looking done. Manning's on the inside, and Joe Manning takes the lead. Here in round 4 at Silverstone. Nordemy can try and fight this one back, and Povey's coming into play now as well. In that Tesco Rich Energy liveried car. So Povey sensing an opportunity to get involved in this fight. And look at the overspeed that Povey's got at this stage. Especially on Nordemy. Povey going to the outside.
Looking back, we've got Booth running off the track through Abbey. Coming back on the track. There seems to be a bit of a battle between the 5 cars for P7. But yeah, which way do you look at the moment?
I mean, this is exactly what you want from our perspective. No idea when to point the camera. Everybody's wide except Povey as we come through Brooklands, and Povey is going to go around the outside at Luffield and take 2nd position.
It's a great move from Povey. It looked like Nordemy got was braking on Manning's brake lights and ran wide with him in sympathy, and Povey's just going to be like, "I'll take that, thank you very much." So can Povey catch Manning for race victory?
That seems to be the fight for the win now. I'm not sure Nordemy has got the outright race pace to produce a victory here, but it's going to be between Manning and Povey. Williams and Lightbody and McDermott, 4th, 5th and 6th, they haven't been dropped. All this fighting has allowed them to catch up as well. So we sort of have 6 cars within a second of each other, and then a long gap back to Harkima in 7th place.
So there's the battle up front and the battle for 7th place, which is still raging on. It's grown a little bit. Booth has dropped off from the back of Sumner, and Galdi's, so him and Galdi and Booth have had a bit of a squabble and lost a bit of time.
McDermott's looking at the inside of Lightbody. Not this time. That was a lot more sensible from the pair. But it'll continue down into Vale this time around. And McDermott very late on the brakes. Doesn't run into the back of his fellow Scott. And yeah, Williams looks like the driver on the move at the moment.
Yeah, Povey's just running a little deep going into Vale. Lost a little bit of time to Joe, and he's... and so Nordemy is right on the tail, having a little bit of a look into Abbey, but nothing more than that. So everything flowing at the moment. There's battles happening everywhere. I don't know which way to point the camera.
There's 2 major scraps that we're trying to keep an eye on, which is this 6-car fight for the lead, essentially, and the 5 or 6 car fight for P7 as well. It's still led by Harkima, although he's defending once again from Hicks as we come through the loop.
Yeah, so just a little bit up there, we've got Simon Vonda has just been off the track down at Stowe. He's managed to rejoin, but it looks like he's had a bit of a spin. Don't know whether that was by himself or that was contact with someone else. But yeah, and Brad Spitt was having a good battle.
Hicks has had a little moment there and run wide. That's going to let Sumner come through. He was putting the pressure on Harkima, who just seems to have the widest BMW in Great Britain at the moment. But Hicks has now lost out to Oscar Sumner, who moves up into
there's a really crash front. McDermott and Lightbody went around start finish straight. This is going to be massive. There's cars all over the place on the start finish line.
I'm going to run this back ever so slightly because we've just missed that. Yeah, oh, look at that. Oh, huge accident between the pair. What happened there through Woodcote of all places? And there was thankfully enough of a gap to allow McDermott to spin the car around. But that looks like potentially terminal damage between McDermott and Lightbody. Not the first time they've come together in this race. Meanwhile, MJ Povey is setting about trying to catch and pass Joe Manning.
Yeah, so it looked like just coming through through Roadcut. Just I don't know whether one tried to close the door on the other, or the other just sort of ran wide and kind of just went in the side of, I don't know which way that went. So it's a bit of a strange place to be having an accident, if I'm honest. But yeah, it looks like they've light bodies have been able to continue, but it looks like McDermott is very much just pulling off and is going to retire the car here.
Here's Williams looking for a podium. Nordemeer's hanging on a bit at this point. Williams looking far the faster car at this stage of the race. On lap 7, so we've probably only got a couple of laps to go after this one. And it's now a 4-car fight for the lead. Getting an update from chat, because obviously we're not live with this. So apparently the incident was to do with a netcode issue. So Lightbot tried to squeeze Crusoe, McDermott, to prevent another send, and then the collision detection didn't play very nice. And I think neither of them would have expected the accident to happen there. They're both robust drivers, but neither of them are that robust. It's very fair to say.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a very odd place to have an accident. So yeah, if netcode was a part of it, then that could explain it. But yeah, so obviously I'm a little bit ahead of you on the broadcast at the moment, Greg, because obviously you've had a replay between Lightbody and McDermott. So yeah, I'll try and run it back. So I'm kind of level with you still.
We've just got Nordemeer and Williams going through Copse now, and Nordemeer is using all of the road and a little bit more, trying to keep the British driver behind, but Williams just seems to be by far the quicker driver at this stage.
He does. So yeah, Nordemeer looks like he's been struggling for sort of outright pace, and he's doing well to defend. Definitely sort of trying to make that BMW as wide as possible. But yeah, it's been a stout defence so far. But it looks like Williams might have the upper hand them.
Yeah, going into Stowe now. Williams looking to the inside, just not able to get alongside the Dutch driver, who's doing well. He's hanging on, but he's gone a bit wide now in Stowe, and this could be the opportunity for Williams. It's Dutch versus British again at Silverstone. Is it going to end in tears? Williams on the outside, Nordemeer very fairly, leaving plenty of space, and Williams moves up into 3rd position.
Yeah, it was good racing from the pair of them. Nordemeer went deep enough in the brakes, but not went too deep to run into the side of Williams. So all fair racing. But behind them,
it's the Harkema Truly train. Harkema is now in 5th and holding back all of these cars. It's been great defence from the American driver.
Yeah, it's been a titanic defence from Hawk, trying to keep everyone behind the boat.
Sumner wide. That's going to give Hicks the opportunity as we come down to Village. Hicks is on the outside. Be great driving to go around the outside there. That move looking very similar to the actual intro sequence between those two cars. And there's Hicks through. Great move.
Yeah. So he's managed to sort of just like stop himself on the apex, so it stops Sumner from getting the switchback move on him. But Sumner's going to have a good run and a little bit of slipstream as they come down the Wellington Straight. But will he have a go into the Brooklands?
Considered the send, thought better of it. I think that was fair play from Oscar Sumner there. Nordemeer, Williams hasn't immediately dropped Nordemeer. He's sticking with him as we start what will be potentially the final lap by the looks of things here at Silverstone. Lap 9 would be about what I would expect based on the time for a lap and the amount of time in the race, which is 20 minutes. It's been a great race one.
It certainly has. Not finished yet. We've still got another
this
lap
line
to go.
through Copse is getting wider and wider and wider as we go through this race. So Harkema still in 5th. There's now a bit of a gap, bit of breathing space back to Hicks and Sumner. Then Lightbody's 8th, Booth is 9th, and Actonese is 10th.
Yeah, that move that Hicks put on something early on has just allowed Hawk to have that little bit of fresh air between them. Um, so unless he makes a mistake himself in his potentially final lap, then I suspect that he should be able to hold in the P5.
Up at the front, Manning continues to lead from Povey. A second between the pair, but this is the last lap. Few corners to go now for the championship leader. And Manning with the opportunity here to extend that championship lead. Looking like Povey's not got an answer at this stage. The fight in the midfield continues apace. Is anyone going to send one into the loop here? Actonese thinks about it. Nope, not this time.
Well, I was just talking about Hawk having a bit of breathing space, but now Hicks is right on the back of him. So yeah, P5 might not be done and dusted as we got the leaders coming in the final couple of corners.
Out of Luffield to make it 3 wins out of 4 in the Touring Car Championship is Joe Manning. The American flashes the headlights and comes round through Woodcote for the final time to win round 4 and cement his place at the top of the standings. Manning wins, Povey in a very excellent second position. That's a very, very strong drive from the Welshman. Williams third, and it's all happening back here.
Yeah, Hicks has just a little bit of a tank slap coming out of the final corner, and he's managed to hold on to P6, but yeah, Hawk was definitely a little bit slower than Hicks coming out of the loop on the well at the straight there, but managed to hold on to P5.
Well, that's where our replay ends, alas. And now I don't know, is there a timing screen available on this? I don't have a button for it.
No, it doesn't look that way, does it?
No, that's a shame. So that's your order. Joe Manning, the winner from MJ Povey in second position. In fact, I'll run this all the way back to the end just to make sure we've got the standings exactly correct. So Manning wins from Povey and Williams. Great drive from Williams, who struggled a bit at Brands Hatch. Nordemir just couldn't hang on, but showed good pace. I mean, no shame in being beaten by some of these drivers who are very, very quick. And then Harkema picks up some solid points in 5th position. Hicks, Sumner, Lightbody, Booth and Actonese making up the rest of the top 10. And then Garley on debut in 11th from Bradley, Soros, Karpinen and Hofsty, the points scorers.